Welcome back to the SWBL podcast presented by 1356 Public House. I'm your host, Bryan Benware. And first off, let me just start out saying it's been a little while since we've had a podcast. We've been kind of taking a break over the summer and just kind of refreshing ourselves after season 20. But speaking of season 20, tonight I am joined by the champion SWBL Yankees. We've got Scott and Kevin, Gus and Sam all on the podcast tonight. And what we're going to do is we're going to look back at their awesome season, their championship run in the playoffs, and just kind of talk about some of the moments that propelled them to their second championship in franchise history. So guys, how you been? How's everybody doing?
Good, Benware. Thanks for having us.
Doing great.
We're missing Whiff.
Yeah. Already ready for season 21, huh? And to defend. Well, guys, let's just kind of dive in. But has it, it's been 3 months. Has it sunk in that you guys are the champions?
I think we've all really enjoyed the last few months and just reminiscing a little bit here and there on the season. And obviously when you come out on top, it's a lot more fun to reminisce on all the good memories because we're the only team who finished with a great memory at the end. So all in all, though, it was a great season 20. Sam did a great job putting it on, and looking forward to 21 and beyond.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's been 3 months. It feels like it's maybe been longer, but also kind of shorter. I don't know. I don't really know, but we every couple weeks we'll send a random text, reminiscing a little bit, and it's always fun to remember. I know we'll get into the championship, but man, it was great season.
Well, it's got to be a little difficult to really celebrate as a team. I mean, you guys are one of the teams that are spread out the most. I mean, everybody's in a different city for the most part. And so it's not like you run into each other or you meet up on a Friday night and can talk about it. But
we have Brian. I've seen Gus in Kansas City and Kevin's seen Sam in LA.
Oh, sweet.
So
it's got to be nice after a win to be able to do that with the travels too. So
oh yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could be all together, but it's definitely a good way to keep in touch. Just the random Yanks baby text that we send to each other once every 2 weeks, just like a check-in.
Mhm.
We're not saying how are you, we're just everybody that says Yanks baby, we know everyone's doing okay.
There you go. Well, one thing that got brought up in our season or our team previews, the ones we did back before the season, but we talked about the fact that the last time Gus had won a championship was with you, Scott. And so kind of full circle there to come back and win it together. And obviously, it was going to happen because you had both you and Sam in the championship, Gus, but everybody always talks about how the skibbies are cursed. Well, I mean, that curse is over. So
yeah, honestly, I think it was just the Royals team. But yeah, it was great to rejoin back up with Scott and 15 years later and win a championship. We're
Absolutely.
two for two.
Yeah, now
baby.
Unstoppable. So another thing that got brought up, and it was just a small subject, but in the team previews, we talked a little bit about the fact that you guys are the smallest roster in the league. Everybody had multiple players, and I know we had talked about it and the whole what if somebody gets hurt thing, and luckily that didn't happen. But you feel like that played a part at all in actually winning the whole thing? The fact that you guys, it was just you four, everybody got maximum at bats. You maximized playing time both at the plate and in the field, which we'll get into a little bit later. But
it would actually be interesting other than the Twins. I mean, the Twins and Rockies had 5 when they won it in those years.
yeah,
So I just always, I mean, as a captain, I've always just looked at like, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. And it's just hard to think about like with this team in particular, just saying like, hey, we'll try to fit you in, because I don't know how fair that would be, you know, like everybody wants to have fun. And but yeah, I think no matter what you have or who you have out there, somewhere along the line you're going to have a little mini slump. And I think like just having 4 on the team, especially these other guys, like I'm going to trust that that's just a mini slump, and we're going to get through it. And like, we're going to be ultimately really for each other, very like encouraging. And that happened like throughout the year of just like the encouragement. So I don't think it can't be done if you don't have, obviously whether you have 4, we have 5 or whatever, but I think just having us 4, it's just unique. And yeah, luckily no one got hurt. So
Yeah.
Four also,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna compliment Gus, but 4 also is good when you have a guy that's on fire.
mhm.
Like Gus was on fire this past season. Sometimes you just get the bat in your hands and you're just feeling it. You want to get that guy up, you know? So the fact that we only had 4 and we were all hitting, just, you know, we just kept cycling through. Gus got at bats. Everybody was getting at bats when they were hot. So it was a good time.
Yeah, I've never been a part of a team where every single moment is celebrated and celebrated with so much enthusiasm. And I think that was refreshing for me. And I feel like that spurred our team to have so many great runs and high scoring games, is because we were able to encourage each other and be excited for one another and have fun, you know, and it was great.
Absolutely. Well, and I think, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll piggyback off that and just like, I'll boldly say that I don't think any team in the SWBL loves the home run like our team does. And so I think like, because of our size, like of being 4 people, if you have a couple like bad at bats in a row, someone hits a bomb, like you just like feel energized. Like, let me get the bat. I want to get up and I want to try to hit a bomb too, because I want to have fun in this party, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's multiple times where we'd be saying, I want to join too. I want to join. I want to join.
Yeah.
Evan
Is it-
Poley.
I would say,
Year.
like that could be a detriment too. I mean, it's not, because you guys have an energy that you all feed off of each other, which is awesome. And it was so much fun to watch on the outside, but except for, you know, when we're playing you and it sucks, but, but you know, some people would feel like that pressure building, right? Like you get your first 3 guys come up and they hit jacks, and that 4th guy starts feeling pressure. Like, I've got to keep up with these guys. And that didn't happen. And I think it could just be because of how much fun you were having. And like I said, the energy, like you were almost more happy when other players hit home runs than if you just flew out or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, the fact that like Sam mentioned it, like the fact that Gus was having the year that he was having, it was just like, I want to pass this at bat so I can get back into his hands as quickly as possible. Like, and you just don't, like, the camaraderie was so much, is like, I just don't want to let the person down. Like you felt the pressure, like, but there's also like an expectation of like, hey, I trust you. Like, you're going to figure it out and we're really for you. So let's just keep it going. Like, focus on the next thing and you'll be fine. So,
yeah. Do you guys think, you know, 3 of you are on the front office, right? And so there's a lot that comes along with that through the weekend. Yeah.
Brian, me, and Scott.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Really more Brian. I don't really do anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so if you want to exclude Kevin, but the fact is Kevin does a ton of stuff on the weekends too.
Yes.
Which is the point I was trying to make, in that you guys do.
Well, everyone besides me.
Yeah, Sam. I don't do a lot either. I mean,
I did bring the tequila though for when everyone.
That was incredible.
that was a
Okay.
big, like,
It was a
2-hour moment for sure.
A
We
whole
should have
bottle in
franchise
about
of the year. We
I'm
should
a
have
Coke
franchise of the
guy.
year just for that.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made, and maybe we should, at least send something to Sam and protest for franchise. But do you guys feel like, Gus, obviously, like I said, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and the three of you guys are doing a ton of stuff back there. But I know, Kevin, you kind of pulled back a touch from some of the stuff you've done in the past. And Gus, you weren't a captain this last year for the first time. And while I know decisions were pretty fluid between all of you, do you feel like maybe some of that helped you guys relax and have more fun, and not having to worry about some of the decisions and some of the responsibilities that you've had in the past, and maybe helped, with, again, that camaraderie, that energy, and then obviously which fed into your play too. So
I'll start. Yeah, you would think that, a little bit less responsibility would make my weekend more free, but it was, as the children of mine get a little bit older, and they stay at my parents' house all weekend, I feel more and more inclined to help out with my kids. And as you know, Brian, when you're around your kids and trying to play wiffle ball and hang out with friends you haven't seen in a long time, it is challenging. And they're more needy now that they're a little bit older and more whiny. And so it was not as relaxing as you would expect the weekend to be, but obviously it didn't affect my play that much. So
yeah.
Yeah, I would say coming into this year, I think, I don't even know when I started doing things, but for however many years, for however long that's been, every year has just been a little bit different. And I think coming into this year, I really wanted to pull back because I really wanted to see if I could have an above mediocre year and really contribute to the team and help them not be an automatic out, or or whatever. And so my goal was really to say, hey, like, I still want to help out. It's a big year. It's a monumental year for the league, not only for how we view it, but across the country. Getting to 20 years is a really special thing. And so I really wanted to try to honor that and celebrate that as much as I could. But I also, in the same light, was thinking, okay, this is a really special year and it's only going to happen once. And I really want to try to put my best foot forward and be the best player I can be for myself and for the team. And if that means pulling it back and doing less, so I'm not exporting a graphic and then running up to my first at bat and like the pitch is coming to me and I'm not even, like, my head isn't even in the game. And so there's obviously a little bit of that this year, but I would say, yeah, I think it helped me a lot. And so, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed having a little bit more time to hang out with the team, hang out with Gus and Sam and Scott, and also other people in the league, just to sit down and have a beer and just connect. Because I think that's what we all really love about the weekend, is that it's about hanging out with your friends. It's about having a little competition, and it's about, most importantly, having fun. And so whatever that fun is for you, making sure that you know what that is, and then like trying to do that weekend, I think is important for everyone individually.
Yeah, Kevin was noticeably more dialed in this year,
Mm-hmm.
as evidenced by how hard you were hitting the cover off the ball. But overall, that was like, our team was just like all in it. It was awesome.
Kevin, oh my gosh. I know I don't remember what game it was, but when Kevin was so mad that he didn't hit a home run the previous at bat, when he hit a home run, he was so jacked up. He threw the bat as hard as he could at the fence.
Gus, that was in the championship. Don't talk about it yet.
Okay, sorry. But
All right.
Just his intensity and his fire that he brought was just unmatched for our team. And I mean, he had the fourth best batting average in the league, and I mean, complete 180 of a
All-star.
2 home runs last year to 17.
We're gonna dive into the stats
Okay,
a little bit.
alright.
How many of these-
We'll definitely talk
Is it
about it,
two?
but I remember early in the year
That's not
watching
right.
some of your games and how different Kevin's ball sounded off the bat, like how it was this huge thud that you don't hear all the time. And I was just like, oh my God, this guy literally, like, we're gonna run out of balls if this guy keeps hitting these things. So let's talk about some of that fun though, you guys. Let's dive into the games. And I just kind of want to see, what you remember from each game. We'll kind of basically we'll go through what happened and big picture, and then just kind of dive into any moments that you remember, what you what stuck out to you throughout the season. So you guys went 8-2, was first place in the corner pub division. You opened the season with the loss. So one of your 2 losses was the very first game against the Orioles. It was a great game. It was back and forth, hard fought. You ended up losing 6-9 or 9-6. And Brett pitched on that one. What do you guys remember about that game? It was the first game, I believe, of Saturday too, right?
Oh yeah, we were so stiff. You guys remember that? I mean, it was like a 7
It
a.m.
was
game on
first game.
Saturday.
Yeah. I think I remember too being a little like, for the first time in a long time, being a little like inward team nerve, like little nerves. It's like, how is this gonna like all come together? Like, what's the personality gonna be like? How are we all gonna like gel? And I think obviously it worked out well. But I do remember walking on the field being like, all right, but I was really stoked to have the Yankees always, when first game of the year before the first pitch, we always huddle on the mound.
Yeah.
And I remember that was really fun to have Gus in there and just be a part of that. And
Yeah, we also faced an extremely hot, the hottest team in SWBL wiffball in that moment with the Orioles. I think they scored 25 runs or something like that and didn't give up a run. It felt like they scored 60 runs, their first game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, bouncing a little bit off what Scott said, like a little bit of wondering how we were going to gel. We were all great friends and knew we were going to have a lot of fun, but just kind of wondering how it was all going to piece together. And then I think although we lost, we knew it was a team we were going to see later in the year, and it was close and it could have gone either way. And so I think we felt bummed, but like confident, going forward, like, hey, this is one of the best teams in the league. We played them close. We played them tough. That's all you can really hope for in your first game.
Yeah. For me, I had first game just had some mixed emotion, with playing against my brother for the first time in 7 years. And so that was, it was fun to see him, play against him. And, but I think going in when I was with the Royals, the goal was just, make the playoffs. It's kind of what Chris Metter always says, make the playoffs and see what happens. And I think with the Yankees, I feel like I knew like that game really didn't matter. We're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to make a run. Let's just have some fun. So I think that game, it was hard fought, and we're like, yeah, we can do this. We just played the best team. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of thought it was a bonus game. Like, we all, after the game, huddled up and we were like, yeah, if we would have won that, it would have been huge, but we kind of all were quietly expecting to lose. Like, especially the Orioles, how hot they were the day before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, the only thing I think it actually decided was, in the end, the 1 versus the 2 seed. Because that was really the only difference. You guys both had the same record.
Yeah.
So it came down to head. And in the end, it didn't matter because you faced each other in the championship too. So it wouldn't have probably changed anything. But and as much as we're going to talk about Gus and his pitching season, Scott, you pitched that game and you pitched great. I mean, after how hot they had been, you held them to 9 runs. So not a bad showing on the mound, especially to start your season, to go, decide to go you versus Gus. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, we left that game being like, if I can pitch like that, not knowing what to come, but we were up 1 run in the last inning.
Yeah.
And it hit a 3-run. Sam hit a 3-1 walk-off.
Mhm.
So, but we left being like, all right, we feel good. If I can pitch like that, we'll be all right. And I didn't even need to pitch like that.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
well, then you went, you moved on, you got your first win against the Rockies, 6-2. What do you guys remember about that game? I think Chad pitched for the Rockies, and Gus, I think you were on the mound in that game.
I actually remember, like, it was one of the pivotal points of that game was, I don't know who was at bat, maybe Brian Kenny hit a ball into left field. Kevin grabbed it, chucked it. I tipped it, Gus tipped it, and then it hit Brian Kenny.
Yeah.
And I remember that might have been just like the ball that like caused it to go down the hill, because I think at that point, like,
The game was close.
that was a close game.
It was 2-2 at that point. So I do remember this. It was 2-2 at that point. That was the first out of the inning, too. And then they ended up with bases loaded after that. And then Gus, you got out of it. So it ended up being a really big play to keep them from getting any momentum.
Was that the inning where there was like a home run too, where it was like 2 guys on and Kevin just jumped up as high as he could and grabbed it?
Yeah, I think that's what ended the inning.
That's what ended,
actually,
yeah. I mean, 2 huge plays. I think that just kind of kickstarted the season really for us.
Yeah. So you end up going, after that whole inning, you guys end up putting 4 more and shut them out the rest of the game. So kind of, I don't want to say coasted, but just, took care of business, got out of that one. So you're 500 now, and then you're facing the Expos, and you put up a monster against them, went 17-2. I believe Jeremy pitched that game, or at least started. I can't remember if he finished or not, but what do you guys remember about that game?
The Expos were in our division, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Expos like still have this air about them where you're like always thinking that they could sneak up on you and beat you, especially just thinking about their season. I know they don't have Brett anymore, but I mean, they can beat anybody. So we came in there knowing this and we just like didn't take our feet off the gas because of that, because we know the Expos are capable. But yeah, I remember that game. Jeremy was getting pissed, and then he was fine, and then he started to like throwing pops, and we were just cranking them.
That's right.
Yeah, the Expos are another team that has an energy about them that they feed off of each other really well, whether they're losing or winning. And history says it's more often they're losing, but that is,
Expos are a team that can get the crowd for them faster than any other team.
Crowd loves the Spos.
One, because they have probably the most people there.
Yeah.
And especially this year, Jack Light being on the team, and like there was like 100 lights there.
Oh yeah, I forgot they had Jack Light.
And
they were a lovable team.
Lovable. And so they can, if you get down on the Expos early or like in the middle part of a game on the middle part of an afternoon, you are going to go against the whole league, and then it's a hard road with them sometimes.
Yeah. I think that game, so our first 2 games, we scored less than 10 runs. And I think from then on out, we scored more than 10 every single game through the playoffs, even too.
Very true.
So
good job.
I think that's true. And which, I mean, that game propelled us to just have offense. And just from then on out, we just had offense, we just kept scoring runs, kept hitting bombs. So.
Well, so after that game, you had your first game against the White Sox, and there was a lot of outside talk about a possible rivalry, about just the history between the players on both teams. But you end up winning that game 14-6. So what do you guys remember about that first matchup against them?
I remember being excited, and it was kind of like take the Orioles out of it for a second. It's kind of like the first test of like having a rhythm as a team, you know, because at that point, I mean, the White Sox were pretty hot. Like they were doing like really well.
Had they beat the Twins at that point?
Yeah, that was they had the Twins were 0 and started 0 and 2.
That's right.
And so it was kind of like a first test of like, you know, how are we going to perform? It was later in the day. And I think the only thing I just really remember about that game is just feeling sad for the game that there was like an interesting call, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately it was the right call, but you just hate to have like any type of controversy in a game like that, where
What
even
was that
if,
again?
what'd you say?
What was the call again? I remember
It
that.
was Gus, the ball got lined to Gus and it hit one of the balls, I think in Gus's hands or whatever, however it happened. And then there was two balls that went this way. One ball where all of us went to, and then a rogue ball that went, I think, towards the first baseline. And the runner was out, but then it was like, wait a second, are we sure you had the right ball? And you just hate to have any type of like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to have any type of controversy in a game where both teams want to win. And
The game was close at that point. And, you know, maybe if we probably as a front office should talk about situations like that, because, you know, looking back, that's the pitcher's fault for having a ball in the hand. That play probably should have been a hit, but there's no rule about it. And I was confident that the ball was the one that we got, but still.
yeah, because
Yeah.
So in the heat of the moment,
Yeah.
we were just trying to figure out which ball was the right ball. I don't think anybody, at least I didn't even know there was any rules other than that. I think we were just like, are we sure we got the right ball?
There's not. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should talk about something like that, or maybe you can only have one ball in your hand. I know that there's other leagues that do that. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
obviously the final score, it wasn't as close, but it was close at that time.
I think it was 5-5 at the time, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly. They ended up putting up a solo shot after that, and then that was all they scored.
Yeah, and I remember we broke it loose.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right, so then you faced the Expos for the second time after that and won that one 13-4. Believe that Jimmy pitched in that game.
That game, I remember Keaton coming up to me because that time people are playing beer darts.
Yeah,
I think
probably. I mean, it's pretty standard, you know.
one of the
thing that
Expos games, Keaton came up to me afterwards and they were playing beer darts and he's like, I couldn't watch the game, but all I heard were your bats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
All right. Well, and then you faced the A's, and you did another. This was the most runs you scored in a game, up until the last game, but you won 21-8.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know we scored that many runs.
Yeah, that was a big game, big offensive game. I don't even remember who pitched for the A's, but I believe you pitched.
Evan did.
Oh yeah.
And then Paul came in.
Okay.
that's right. Evan kept pitching over the speed limit, getting frustrated.
Was this our first Sunday game?
Yes, this would have been your first Sunday game.
I think that's when we really started rolling. Sunday.
I hit a dinker down the first baseline, and I was running. Evan picks it up. Could have literally touched me and tagged me out. And he rears back and tries to throw the ball as hard as he can. And I stopped, and he just threw the ball right past me. Then I got on second. But a little known fact about this is I got on second, and Evan's collecting himself back on the mound. And he turns back and looks at me, and he says something along the lines of, "I was trying to kill your ass," or something. And I just remember in that moment being like, "What the hell is going on here?"
I was trying to kill your ass.
That's awesome.
I was like,
That makes sense. He was fiery, man, this year. I mean, that was something that he definitely had a character about him out there. So it makes sense. And it's a fun story that nobody else would, just the two of you would know. So well, so after that, you got your second loss against the Twins was your next game. And you lost by 1 run, 10-9. And Gus, I'm gonna bring this up, but you guys, you had the bases loaded with
Yeah.
Gus up.
Yep.
And then I think you flew out.
Yeah. I feel like, I feel kind of like LeBron James in that in that aspect. I feel like in the big moments, I am like a subpar performer. And I don't know if it's the nerves or what. Sometimes I can do well, but I feel like most of the time I get out when I should, when the pressure's on to do something well. I felt that
I
throughout.
think I would disagree with you, and I would say LeBron James would be a good example because LeBron, everyone thinks that, but if you look at his stats, like he's way better than how people give him credit for.
It's not about the stats. It's about those moments. I'm more so thinking about his finals record, but we don't need to talk about LeBron. But
I would also just say, like,
God defends LeBron.
I think that game surely wasn't, obviously, was there a moment for Gus? Sure, but that game surely wasn't at Gus's mercy. I think that entire game we were all frustrated, and I think we walked away every inning with more runners on base than we ever.
That's right. We commented there was a few runners on base every single inning.
All the time.
I think we had bases loaded almost every inning, and we couldn't get them home.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we all definitely had moments to step up and put that game away, and we just didn't.
Yeah. You faced Spencer in that game. As well, I remember him pitching in that game.
Yeah.
But so I mean, he's a tough pitcher. When he's dealing and when he's on, he's really hard to hit. So, but yeah, that was that was a pretty suspenseful game. I remember. So
it was intense.
if I remember correctly, in that game too, in the bottom half of that 5th inning, Gus, you got on. I remember hitting a ball to right field, and Corey McCarthy becoming like 10 feet tall and knocked the ball back in, and we didn't score any runs. And I think maybe Sam got a single, and that's how we were like 1 run away or something like that. Something ridiculous, but that's just the Twins. They play really good defense, you know?
Yeah. And they play smart ball. I remember early in that game, a lot of their hits it wasn't like they were hitting just home run after home run, which they can do when they get on, but they were hitting little singles like right past you in left field, Scott, or right in the gap between the pitcher and left field. Like they were just kind of manufacturing runs early. And they can do that too. And sometimes it gets frustrating because there's nothing you can do about it whenever they're hitting those things. So, So after that, you were supposed to play the last game of the day Sunday against the Astros, but we had decided to move that because I think by the time we would have started, it would have been like 8-something, and it was already
pretty dark.
getting dark, and it sucked. But we ended up playing that game at 6:45 on Monday.
Yeah, never.
Oh, yeah, we were so mad about that.
Never again in the history of wiffle ball at our age should people play a game at 6:45 in the morning.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
However, you guys it felt like you kind of picked up right where you left off. You guys you won 14-4. in that game. And I kind of feel like, you come off that loss and then you get the bats going really early in that day. And I don't know, it kind of starts like kicks you off toward that playoff run. Is that kind of how you guys felt either after that game or while that game was going on?
I think we had the same feeling we had against the first loss against the Orioles when we lost to the Twins. It like sucked that we lost to them, but we were just like, we were right there. And like, we kind of were a little off. And so like, I don't know if I necessarily, me personally, felt when we played against the Astros and we put up 14 of being like, all right, our bats are back. I was like, all right, we're just continuing on like being ourselves as a team. And like, at that point, Monday comes because 6:45, you start looking at seeding, like what could the scenarios be and how can we best put ourselves in like the best position, so.
Yeah. So then you played the Marlins, your one and only time against the Marlins. You won that one 14-8. And don't know what you remember about that game.
I'll just say, one thing I remember talking about at the end of the year was like, although the final scores of our games sometimes were like there was a large margin of our win, each game was close until like a certain point. And then it just like, we had a great an inning and a half. But I remember, every game had its own intensity to it. Our Astros game, although 14-4, like I remember there being tense moments like for a while in that game. And then all of a sudden bats got hot and, we were able to relax a little bit. But the same thing in the Marlins, like Marlins having like a great year, their best year as a franchise in the history of the league. It just felt close. Things always felt close until they didn't, which we were fortunate to have that throughout the season. But that's kind of a theme I remember even in Monday as we kind of finished out our regular season was like every game's close and then our bats would just get really hot.
Yeah.
So
it's probably good. We're almost to the playoffs, but it was probably almost like seasoning you guys for those tougher matchups to know like, hey, we're still like we're always in these games, and it's going to happen, and having that confidence to be able to relax in tough moments. I'm sure that helped a lot when it came to the later part of Monday.
I remember the Marlins and then half of the next game, which would be the White Sox. I slumped hard. I played terrible against the Marlins, like garbage, and like in the start of the White Sox. And part of like the encouragement is you'd have Kevin, Sam, and Gus at different points, just like trying to lift up your spirits, But like, I don't know if I got a hit, maybe one hit against the Marlins, so I didn't contribute anything. And like, it was a lot in the back of my mind being like, holy frick, wrong time to slump,
Mm-hmm.
And but that's where you rely on like your team,
Yeah, I remember I think my last 4 or 5 at bats, they intentionally walked me to get to you, Scott.
First time ever I've ever had
Oh, that's right.
That's how bad I was playing.
It wasn't that. It was like, I think you maybe were like, they're doing this to me. Like, this is the way I've never had someone do this to me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you got in your head a little bit. And but yeah, that was.
Yeah, your dad brought that up, Scott. I talked to your dad about that.
Really?
Yeah, he said something about that, about how you were looking frustrated or something. And I was like, yeah, it's the first time anyone's ever walked somebody to get to Scott. And it's like, me and your dad were laughing about that, but you broke out of it. So
I did.
Yeah.
That's just a testament to how hot Gus was, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, every other team that tried to pitch to Gus was just stupid at a certain point.
Yeah, but at what point, like, what are you gonna do? Like,
you're gonna
sit
get
there
a
and you're
guy
like,
like Sam and Kevin.
I can walk Gus, but now you got
The run.
Scott, and you got Sam, and you got Kevin. It's like you might as well just try. Just give it your best college try.
Yeah.
So and then lastly, you had that last game against the White Sox to finish out the season. You won 16-11, so a closer game.
And the winning pitcher was
Sam.
Bakula.
Let's
Whole
go,
game.
Talk
baby.
about-
I had so
I
much
was gonna
fun
bring
pitching
it up.
that game.
You threw Sambo in that game. Was that the first time you've pitched in the league, Sam?
No, I pitched before, but it's been a couple of years.
Okay.
But I obviously grew up pitching and I love pitching. I'm not best at it, but it was really fun. And the White Sox were good. Like I had a few bumps in the first inning. They ripped me a little bit, but I settled in after that and ended up pitching pretty good. So
yeah. I was playing right field, and most of the time I play towards the center, like left center side. And Sam has great pitches. I remember inning after inning, he just got a little bit better. He got a little bit better, and his pitches were really effective. And by the end of the game, he really had control of it. So it was really cool to watch that, especially because he doesn't get a chance to pitch a lot, and knowing that he has a lot of fun doing it. And it was cool to watch him sort of take over the game.
Mm-hmm.
what was it? We know the White Sox really well, obviously, and they really do have just a fantastic lineup. But we know John Callaway better than anyone. And Scott came up to me after the first inning, after I was pitching John Callaway, and John hit like 3 home runs. And Scott was like, "Hey, you need to pitch John." Was it high and inside? What
I'm
was
not going to answer this question.
I forgot what it was, but he was like, "You need
I'm
to
just
pitch
kidding.
John here."
Yeah, I just
And
noticed
then I
one
did.
time,
And
one time he got out and it was just like a high and inside pitch. And I was like, hey, maybe right now that's just a hard pitch for him. And I remember the next at bat, which was a very important at bat. I think Sam pitched one. I think it was like a ball that I don't know what screen. It just went high and inside and it popped out to Gus, I think. So I remember that game talking smack to Jackson though. Do you remember that, Sam? It was like bases were loaded or something like that, and Jackson was up. I was behind the plate. I was like, Jackson, not this one, not this one. And he stopped, and then Sam tinked to the very top of the strike zone. And the White Sox, they're all good sports, and they're all laughing too. Like that's like a moment that's just like, that's when wiffle ball is fun, is like when everybody's having fun and can laugh and have a good time. Like,
Yeah, I think we were like, that game really didn't matter at that point because we were both in the playoffs, but little did we know it did matter because the Twins lost, which gave us the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
We were dialed into the 3 seed, and we're just kind of
Yeah.
hanging out. And then that happened.
Yeah.
Twins lost the 1 seed and we had to
Wait,
play
Marlins.
didn't the Orioles lose a game Monday too? So like, didn't the Orioles lose and then the Twins got the 1 seed
Oh, the Orioles
then-
lost to the Marlins.
and then the
Orioles lost to Marlins because Sam pitched.
that must have been a
And
different
Jordan
day, though.
Smith had a walk-off. No, Jordan Smith didn't. It was the
Collins.
what was his name?
No, he said the Marlins.
Oh, the Marlins. Yeah.
The
they-
Marlins.
But anyway, yeah, Gus is right. We were just kind of like, we're gonna have some fun this game. It doesn't matter. And then after that game, when we won, all of a sudden it was like, oh frick, good thing we won that game.
Nice to be able to relax and just have fun with it and still win. So, but yeah. So, well, I mean, speaking of pitching and stats, let's kind of go through some of the stats. We've kind of highlighted or mentioned a few things, but so Sam, like we said, you went out there, you had 1 game, 1-0, and you pitched great. You had 4 strikeouts in that game. You your ERA was only 10. So, in 1 game, but you did great. You pitched 5.5 innings. Apparently you pitched a half inning at some other point.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So, yeah. So you still faced 26 batters. So it wasn't like a short game. You had a little bit of a grind, but you got through it and won that. And then Scott, you had saves? No.
Yeah.
Saves? You had 2 saves?
Yeah. That's how Gus was able to pitch so many games, is because
Oh, yeah.
Sam, myself, and Sam and myself saved 3 of Gus's games, either either 3 innings or 2 innings. So we were able to save innings on the back end. Because Gus started every game, but
2 or 3.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we had 1 complete game. He had 6 strikeouts on the season, 10.5 innings pitched. You only gave up 15 earned runs in the entire time that you pitched, with a 7.1 ERA. So pretty solid there, especially when you consider, who the ERAs and some of the stats that typically win Cy Wiffle, which we'll get into with Gus. But I mean, those are some numbers that if that had been extrapolated over multiple innings or more innings and stayed that way, you would have been in the running, in the conversation for a Cy Wiffle there too. So pretty solid performance on the mound, even though it was limited just because of the way Gus was pitching. And then obviously Gus wins Cy Wiffle. He has 4 complete games, 17 strikeouts, an ERA of 6.1, which is so impressive. Faced 118 batters.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just went 7-1.
Wait. Oh my gosh. You faced 118 batters. What's
Man.
what's your favorite number?
Hold
Well, we
on.
can't go into this yet.
Yeah, wait.
We have to remember that for the end.
Yeah, there's a good 18.
That's right. That's
Actually,
right.
That's great, because that might be a future question in the podcast anyway. So
It's a
Ooh,
great
that's
coincidence.
yeah.
Cool.
All right. And then, so we talked about hitting and how much the offense was going. And Scott, you were actually, like you said, you slumped, but you had the bottom stats,
Mhm.
which is not common for your team. And it still wasn't bad. You still hit 531. Your slugging was 1.361. You had 17 home runs. You only had 3 strikeouts, so it wasn't like you were striking out all the time. So pretty good there.
Scott, do you want to share about your body during the weekend?
Ooh,
Your body, what?
Your body.
Your
God.
body. How your
Sounds
body was failing you all
What
week.
happened to your body?
Yeah, I mean, basically, long story short, the week leading up to the weekend, me and Kevin went to Carmen to take the old rust off.
We went to Barrett's. We don't.
Barrett's,
we
that's
don't
what I
bring
meant.
it.
That's what I
Carmen.
meant. My bad.
Carmen.
We don't go to Carmen.
No,
Carmen
so we went to
trash, dude.
Barrett's, and it was like a chilly day. And randomly, I was pitching to Kevin, and I went to pick up a wiffle ball, and I basically threw out my back.
oh,
So, so yeah, I mean, everyone's dealing with something, but yeah, like I was very uncomfortable the whole season, like very, very, very uncomfortable.
You had a lot of ailments.
Yep.
He was nailed overall.
And then there's a lot of stuff, but it's all worth it. It would not have been worth it if we didn't win the championship, but because we won the championship, it was worth it.
it makes it that much sweeter to fight through any kind of nagging pains or whatever, to like
Yeah.
fight through that and come out on top. It's got to make it that much sweeter. So, Sammy, you hit 576, 18 home runs. Let's see. You also only struck out 3 times.
Oh,
That
Boom.
surprises me.
Yeah. You slugged 1.545.
ooh.
So pretty solid. Your on base percentage was 576. So yeah, pretty good year. And then Kev, you also hit 18 home
Hey,
runs.
Kev.
Your average was 655. Your slugging was 1.636.
Oof.
Look at him.
2 walks. So your OB,
Try not to smile.
your on base was 667 with only 2 walks. So you did that with only 2 walks, which is impressive.
Kevin, what was your average last year? 2 years
Like
ago.
130.
Kevin had 2 home runs last year.
130? No, it wasn't.
It wasn't 130, but God, it felt like it.
And then Gus won an MVP. His numbers are freakish. He hit 26 home runs, Had 37 RBIs, averaged 792, slugged 2.34.
Who?
Dude, you almost
12
forgot-
walks too, also. 12 walks. So his on base percentage was 831.
Bash Bros.
Is
Eight.
out of 10 at bats, you either scored a run, hit an RBI, or got on base.
That's stupid.
That's insane. So just so impressive. And then, you know, we can talk about fielding. Kevin, you just kind of mashed and we're an all-star and we're amazing in right field. You guys swapped out left field. But Scott, you played majority of the left field. You didn't get a lot of chances. Oh, did we lose Sam? Hopefully not.
I just
You only had, well, you had 22 total chances, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so pretty even there, but really good stats. You only had, Kev, I think they gave you 2 errors, but I don't even remember 2 errors. So
I think one of them.
I
was
remember
definitely-
one. I don't remember two.
I think one was when I switched over to right field one time. I had an error in the White Sox game, but in the stats they don't. change that
I
just
gave
to
it to
make-
Kev. Okay.
Classic can't trust the stat guys.
Yeah.
Classic. They're the worst.
They're the friggin' worst.
freaking
Yeah.
classic.
We'll talk about that in the front office this season.
All right, we'll bring it up.
Need
next
more
meeting.
transparency for sure.
Yeah. So then that, you know, Gus, let's just talk a little bit about your amazing season. Like, at what point did you realize how special of a year it might be for you? Was there something that clicked, or was it after the fact that you realized what you kind of had accomplished?
I mean, I knew I was hitting the ball pretty good. It was nice, like I was saying, you know, just with the team and the camaraderie and the encouragement from everybody and just being excited for one another, that helped. But towards the end, the last 2 games, I knew I was talking with Spencer and I wanted to beat his home run record. So it came down to that, and I wanted to try to do it, and I flopped the last game. I didn't get what I think I needed 1 more home run. That's right, to tie him, I think, and didn't get it, but that's all right. It was all, I truly don't care about the stats. I mean, it's been 15 years and I've had whatever all-stars. I really didn't care. What was fun for me, 1 was to play with these guys, and then 2 was to win a championship. So
Check and check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing I was thinking about, but if you look back at the last 4 champions, 3 of those years, the MVP has been on that team. So I don't know if that's coincidence. I don't know if that's starting to be a trend where if you have that guy who is just that guy, that obviously it helps you, you know,
Yeah.
be better.
Was
right?
that
You
other
can
year
win
that
more
the
games, but
It was Corey and Spencer.
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
the
And
Yankees.
the Expos are sort of the anomaly
Didn't have
because
one that year.
yeah, they didn't, but they did have a
They had
Cy Wiffle, so they did
Yeah,
have a
Cy Wiffle.
major award winner still.
Sure.
And then even the Rockies, if you want to include that 5 years ago, that was when they won, BK won Platinum Hands. So
Hmm.
if you go the last 5 years, it's major award winners and on the team that wins the championship now. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that a little bit and wondering if that's going to continue, if that just happens to be happenstance, because it's not one guy winning a game, but it certainly helps when you have a guy playing at that caliber. So
Yeah, I think with your league is like deep as ours, to get to the finish line, you're gonna have to have a difference maker, whether it's a corner platinum hands guy or a Cy Wiffle or an MVP. I feel like I've never put that together. I've never really paid attention, but like hearing you talk about Bryan just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, it also makes sense. Like the reason I was able to get MVP is because I had so many opportunities at the plate. And the
Mhm.
reason I was is because you guys were all hitting very well, you know. So if there's one person that does amazing, but they only get 30 at bats. They're not noticed. They're not recognized because it's
Yeah.
all the numbers game. So
One, your team, if it's one guy doing it and everybody else is kind of flopping, you're gonna be 5-5, maybe
Yeah.
6-4. Like it's not gonna really propel you to go very far.
I mean, think about the Marlins this year. They just had Luke to carry them. And now that they have Jordan Smith, Luke's numbers went skyrocketed up because of his teammate Jordan. And I think that just having two players that can be leaders for their team also will benefit. So,
Absolutely. Well, so then that kicked us into the playoffs. And your first game, the semifinal game, was against the Twins, who was your last loss. And you guys end up winning that game 15-9. So what do you remember about that second matchup against the Twins? I believe Will pitched that game.
and Spencer came in.
The first inning he did.
Yeah.
Our first couple.
Yeah, I think it was just one inning. Spencer came in. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really remember a lot from that game, but I just I think the score says it, and the chances that we had in the first game that we didn't take advantage of, we found a way to get it done. And that was probably just the difference maker.
I think we were home. I felt comfortable the whole game. I never at one point thought like, oh crap, we're going to lose this, because I think it worked out with the innings where we were always up and there was never like a close moment. Yeah, that's what I remember.
It was
Yeah.
still tense though, just because it's the Twins and just because
Sure.
of our history with them in the playoffs, especially. And
Yeah.
last year, like that to me was a huge game and very tense.
Yeah.
I thought the whole way through.
Yeah.
Even though we were up, it never felt like we were safe.
That was a game where I think,
Pretty same.
yeah, that was a game where it was really close. And I know we've talked about like being close and then the games kind of go away. I actually just remembered, there was one inning where I feel very uncharacteristically, they had, I think maybe like an error or two.
Yep.
And
Chris
yeah,
Oh yeah.
and
throwing the ball to second base was a bad throw. He had actually had two, and
you were up and he didn't field it right, and then I was up and then he also didn't field it right. Is that what happened?
it was back-to-back
Back-to-back.
plays. Because we watched this game when you were in Kansas City, Scott, and that did happen. And that, I think we scored 7 that inning after
Yeah.
that happened.
That's what kind of did it.
And then
So
also, I think what sucked for them is Spencer, I remember watching, he did not have a good game. And I think it was at that point where his wrist was really hurting him at that point. And I think that did not help their game, obviously. But so more ailments that ruin teams' chances.
Yeah. Well, so then that game propelled you guys obviously into the championship to face the Orioles again. So you bookend your entire year you start with the Orioles. And fun fact, the two teams you lost to in the regular season are the two teams you played and beat in the playoffs.
I think Gus or Sam or somebody pointed out our Monday was every playoff team
Almost. Astros didn't make the playoffs, but yeah.
except for you guys, and we went 5-0 that day.
I think I remember saying after we lost to the Twins in the earlier part of the season, saying we lost to the Twins, we lost to Orioles. It's hard to beat teams more than once.
Yeah.
And so we got to lose. I'd rather lose now.
Yeah.
I think I remember saying.
That's a good point. Well, so this championship game was amazing. It was back and forth.
Oh man.
Was it the 5th inning that you guys were down 7 and needed 7 and scored? Was that the 5th inning?
Yeah, but we had to do that twice. We did that twice. I think it's second.
Okay, I only remembered the
It
first.
was
The second.
wild.
Yeah, the game was freaking wild.
was
One, we had no
wild.
business for this game.
One, we had been playing with ball since 6:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
The 5th game.
15. I was exhausted. I remember that. I remember thinking I can't play another football game after this.
So yeah, so we the second top of the second, we were down 7 runs, right?
My pitches did not work at all.
Also so windy.
My pitches did not work. And I'm like, oh crap. And they just kept hitting home. Peter had 6 home runs in the championship game and was just killing the ball. I couldn't pitch to anybody. And obviously they scored 19 runs or whatever. But so yeah, I couldn't pitch at all. They scored 7 and
then we came right back and scored 7. And that's when Kevin because his bases loaded and Kevin got out first pitch strike.
Let me tell you about that. There's not a worse feeling in the SWBL than being excited. You grab your bat, you're excited because I think everyone grabs their bat thinking I'm gonna hit a home run. And so you
no more than Kevin Poley, by the way, too.
You grab your bat, you're excited to just have a chance. And you dig in, you look at their pitcher, they throw one pitch and it goes ding, and you're done. Yeah, and you're done. There's not a worse feeling in wiffle ball than that feeling. And to have it happen in that moment compounded my feelings about it even more. You just can't, if you want to win the championship, you can't have that happen. You can't have that happen, period. You can't have that happen when the base is loaded. Bro, I was hot.
The base is loaded.
But then you come back up to bat, and what happens?
Yeah, I mean, these guys will laugh, but sometimes my mentality when I get up to bat is I'm swinging as freaking hard as I can.
That's your mentality every at bat.
Yeah, every at bat, I'm swinging as freaking hard as I can, and if I'll live and die by what happens after that. And yeah, I swung, I hit a home run, and I kind of blacked out because I was upset. Gone through the bat, and I was relieved. I was pumped. I was like, I contributed, because I think not just in wiffle ball, but in life, when we're on a team, we want to feel like we contribute, and in the biggest moments, we want to feel like we're also contributing. And so, like, whether that's in the field or whether that's up at the plate, but you got to feel like you're doing something to help your team win. And I struck out twice that game, swinging and and looking. And that was my 1 home run, and it felt good to know at least I did something. I might be the first person to throw a wiffle bat like that after hitting a home run, but it is, you know what?
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it goes to extra innings. Also, I should mention it was Gus versus.
You missed a lot there, Brian.
Hold on. Okay. Let's go back. But it was. I wanted to make sure I mentioned it was Gus versus Sam the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we got to talk about Sam Bakula's missile home run. This ball went down and up.
This was the craziest home run I've ever seen in my
One
life.
of the hardest ball I've ever hit.
It started at Peter's like chest, and then rose like that. It was unbelievable, and it was hit so hard.
Brian, can you add in a clip of that at the end of this video?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can look it up. Hold on. Keep talking about the game.
It's gonna be a long. It's gonna be.
Do you remember what inning it was in?
Right, I'll help you find it in post, and if you need help doing it, I'll help you do it.
Okay.
So
What about Kevin's catch?
we're not there yet.
Too late,
Oh!
Sam.
There's like
Everybody like
there's like
Gus putting up a 0. Gus putting up a 0 in the
so far ahead of ourselves. There's a
as
big moment that happened in like
Scott, you hit 2 grand slams, man.
no Scott's grand slam in extras was okay. We just jumped way ahead, but
What were you gonna talk about?
There was a quote said. Gus, you remember?
I don't quote from him.
Oh yeah, this was the top of the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, bottom of the 4th inning. We had just put up a fat 0.
We're down by
It was 18 to 11 or
Down
17 to 11, something like that.
we put up a 0.
7-11.
And we
Yeah.
put up a 0.
Gus and Kevin and Gus, I think, got out.
yeah,
Yeah, probably.
4.
I was sucking. But
Bottom
let's think
four.
about it. No one knew this.
We walk back out. We
Yeah.
walk back out, and in my head, I'm like, oh shit. Like we are like in the back of your mind, you're like, there's no way we're gonna win this game.
Because
And
all
you-
game we're like trying to keep up.
yeah. And we're down by 6. We only have 2 outs left. Like, there's no way. And they're up to bat, they're hitting hot. And Sam Skibby walks up to the plate, and what does he say?
He doesn't look at the GoPro, he looks at his team, but he essentially looks at the GoPro and he says, guys,
To his
score 6. Guys, let's score 6 and win it right here. Score 6 and win it right here. Let's go.
Mercy rule.
Mercy rule.
Which I had no idea
one.
about.
No one would have.
I would have melted on the field if we would have got run ruled in the championship game. Oh, that would have been terrible.
None of us would have had a clue. They would have
No.
been like run rule, and we'd have been like, what?
Yep.
Because we were down by 6. Oh, that's so true. Yeah, 12
Yeah.
after 4.
They would have been celebrating. I'd have been like,
Oh,
why are they? That would have been so. That would have been worse than losing to the Twins last year.
You might as well not have been in the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so bad.
But then I think Gus, you gave up 1 run. That
Sam
inning.
got out. Then whoever's up after Sam
Brett got a home run.
Oh, Brett.
hit a home run, and then PG got out of the inning.
Yeah.
Down by 7, top 5.
Top
Top
five.
5. And
I
scored
really
7.
don't feel like I've tried to remember how I felt walking back in the field. I don't remember ever feeling like nervous or like, oh no. Like I was just like dazed. Like that whole game, we were just like, how are we still in this game? And we have a fighting chance. And honestly, when I was walking back in, I was like, dude, season 5, we just hit Apo tacos the whole time and won the championship.
there was one inning in there where we passed the bat and hit home runs, I think like 6 times in a row.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been me, but you guys did. You guys There was also a play. I mean, one of the bigger innings we had. One of the things that helped us was the radar gun. I think it was 2nd and 3rd, or the bases were loaded, and Sam, you were up,
That would have been first and
And-
second.
and
Right before grand
you hit a
slam.
ground ball to Sam Skibby. It would have been like the first out or something like that, second out, and it would have been the first out. And it was 57, and so we got another redo, and either you walked or something happened.
He walked. Yeah.
And then I got up and first pitch strike. That was the first pitch strike. And then obviously one of these guys hit a grand. Scott, I think Scott ended up hitting a grand slam or something like that.
Because Gus walked.
Yeah, and that was a big moment in the game. And then
Huge moment. Anytime you get 4 runs when you're down by a lot or even up by a lot, like that's a game changer completely, is if you can get 4 runs in an instant.
Yeah.
and then
Continue.
all right, there's just one more moment that's just like sometimes you just need a little luck, and a fly ball, one of those hard curly Q fly balls that have a lot of spin on it, close to the mound, close enough. Sam makes a really good effort, dives for it, but he drops it. But you're still so close to the mound that you can just grab it and the runner would be out. But Sam fell in a way that he scorpioned, and his legs were so high up in the air when he grabbed the ball, his legs were not on the mound, and then they fell down. And I think it was you, Scott. But if his legs would have been on the ground, Scott would have been out, and it would have prevented big inning. But just like one of those freak plays.
I was in the 5th inning where
Mhm.
we had just scored a bunch and we were like, momentum was going. And then if you would have caught that, there's no way we win the championship.
Yeah.
So a lot of things had to go our way, and they did. So last inning, okay. I just want to pause. Gus, in this game of just back and forth,
Bottom half of the 5th.
bottom half of the 5th, we walk out 18-18. It's just like, or 19-19. It's just like, frick. Like you're like in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, this is gonna suck.
All they still need is 1 run.
They're just like, hey, they're gonna hit a walk-off home run, and this is gonna suck. And Gus, so that was like, so
That didn't do
Peter,
anything. Peter hit a home run that hit the tree.
hey, Peter went against the Green Monster and it went back in fair. And then Gus and I had a mound visit and for a while. And I remember looking and being like, oh man, the storyline of Sam hitting a walk-off home run against Gus here. As a younger brother, that's probably, I mean, Gus would be, but like, if that was Kevin, I'd be like, I don't want that to happen against me. No way. And I think our plan was to pitch to walk Sam
Correct.
and Brett.
Because there's no outs, runner on second.
Mm-hmm. Because we were like, what's it matter if it's a grand slam or 1-run dinger? Like, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And Gus, so I'm thinking, I walk back to third base going, Gus is going to one pitch, or Gus is going to walk him. And then all of a sudden I see Gus's hand leave this floating meatball. Like second pitch.
Right down the middle.
Right into Sam's wheelhouse. And luckily he missed it. And right when he did that, I was like, the game just changed in that moment. Because then we went back, it was like, screw you pitching to walk. Brett, get on first base. And then PG hits that ground ball, and we all celebrated when that ground ball even got like hit. I think we were all like,
The ground ball to you. Yeah, it was a ground ball to you, right?
yes.
And you, as soon as it came to you, you're cheering. And then we're all like,
Wait, we were the winning run was at the plate.
Was that second?
the winning run was up to
I
bat.
can't believe we pulled that off. That's
Gus put
so
up a
insane.
0 in the bottom. I mean, it was just like improbable for that game, how it was going, that anybody would that they would get blanked, that the Orioles would get blanked in that moment. And it was just like, once the mood of the game shifted, it felt like for the
Brand new
first
game.
time. Yeah, it felt for the first time that we, instead of trying to play catch up, we had the momentum and we were going to win. At that point, it's like, go win the game.
Yeah.
And
So then
then,
we put up 4
yep.
in the 6th.
How did we put up 4? Did Sam hit a 2-run homer?
No, I hit another grand slam in the top of the 5th.
Yeah.
No. In the top of the 6th, what happened?
Yeah, I had a grand slam.
You did hit a grand slam. That
'Cause
was
that was,
a 2-run homer.
no, it was a grand slam because that's where you.
I grounded out to the pitcher.
No, you didn't. You got a single. We scored 5 that inning because we got bases loaded. Sam walked.
So it was 18-18
Evan-
going into this top of the 6th.
19-19.
18-18 because you guys.
Oh, it was 18-18?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so you
what we
had
gotta
20
talk about.
because you had
18.
23. So if you put up 5, and then I do believe
They scored a
Sam
homer.
hit a single shot, like a solo.
No, Gus led off the inning with a home run.
No, I'm
No.
sorry.
Talking about the bottom of
When
the
they
6th.
came back up, they only had a solo shot.
We scored 5. They scored
Oh,
1.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
I'll say this: at one point in the game, Gus is at bat, scores 18-18. He's number 18, and I think you hit your 18th home run.
No,
No,
he was number 18. It was.
score was 18-18.
Score was 18-18.
Yeah,
There's
that
one
was-
more. There's a tweet. If you go to the Yankees Twitter account, there's a tweet where there's like 4 18-18 things going on.
okay.
Yeah. 18.
Gus's 18th season.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
is it.
Yes.
My 18th season.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
I've got the video of Sam's home run. If we want to look at it real quick,
Let's do it.
Wait, we can do this? Oh,
Yeah.
why
Come
don't we
on,
do this
you
whole
gotta
time?
pull up Kevin's catch.
we can look at, we can do whatever.
And then we pull up the part where Sam Skibby says, let's just score 6.
Oh,
All right.
we
So
should have
here-
been watching the game.
Yeah, Brian, why aren't we watching
that
the
color?
game?
We can, sorry. It would be an hour and 13 minutes of on top of the rest of the podcast. But we can fast forward to different moments. It's fine. So here's, I believe this is the one. It looks like it to me. Sam hit a couple. He hit one over right center too, but
I'm pretty sure the one that Sam hit, it was in.
Further along in the game. I think.
Yeah, it was in the.
Really?
It was
Well,
the
this
5th
one
inning.
looks like a rocket too. So
Yeah,
let's
let's
just
watch
watch it for fun.
There was a couple rockets.
It's
in there.
Rockets.
What?
Oh,
the
that was a
hell?
rocket,
Yeah.
Sam.
We're protecting the plate there, guys. Come on.
Yeah, big bro.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, down.
Oh
two.
my God. God, Lord.
No,
Oh,
it-
That wasn't it. Brian,
Okay,
go to
that
the
wasn't
go,
it. Okay.
go to the 5th inning. It was the 5th
Oh,
inning.
okay. It was later in the game. Okay.
Yeah, you're way too close.
Go to, and I was
I want
on.
to see
base.
Scott's granny too.
Try here. See what inning this is.
That's
It's hard
pretty
to
far.
tell. It's 49 minutes
Gotta
in.
see
so-
one. We gotta see the key highlight from everyone.
No, I was on first base. Hold on. I was on first base. So keep going. Go past this moment. Try here. Hold on, go back. Right there. Try that.
Okay,
I
this
was
is
on.
it.
Nobody's
No.
on,
No.
but we can try it.
I feel like this is it. Nope.
No, because this is
Dang, dude, you hit
There's
ton of
still a bomb though.
He hit
Keep
one
going
to right
further.
center earlier too.
keep going further, Brian. Keep going
Sam, how
further.
many
Try
home
this one.
runs?
Try
You
that
have
one.
4
There it is.
home-
This is it. This is it.
You have 4 home runs this game,
Dude, Sam went off this game.
Heck yeah, bro.
Look at this.
Dude.
That ain't it.
That was an ugly looking swing.
Because at this moment, God, I wish I remember what the score was.
Can you go full screen, Brian?
Yeah.
We should have just watched the whole game.
We should have watched the game.
Oh man, that GoPro actually is pretty nice.
You're good. I think Peter like even reacts to it.
He puts his right arm up in the air trying to catch it.
What an at bat, Sam. Jeez.
Look at that eye, guys. Look at Scott out there.
Oh my God.
It was like a driver.
That was awesome.
I remember that hit.
Look at Scott limping back. Nice.
Shinging.
All right.
Gosh.
What other moments you want me to find?
Kevin's catch.
Where's Kevin's home run when he throws the
While you're
ball?
right here, just go to the moment right when we got them out to go to the top of the sixth.
All right.
Yeah, Kevin's at bat where he throws it is very early on in the game.
It's like my second at bat.
Okay.
right after my
Not that
my
early.
grand
Not that
slam.
early, Brian.
Okay.
It's right there. Hold on. Go. Oh yeah, keep going.
That's
No,
the
keep going.
Orioles.
They had like a 20-minute inning. It's ridiculous.
Jeez Louise.
Damn, look at that field.
Oh god.
Oh, no.
That was the first out.
Oh boy. Your
Um,
boy was
Scott.
upset.
Sam walks. Here's Kevin's strikeout. Oh, that's gonna be his first pitch strikeout here.
That's fine. That means I'm coming.
Oh wait, we gotta see that. We gotta see that
Here it comes, right here.
to build it up.
Huge moment in the game.
Oh,
Oh no.
All right.
dude, I chucked my bat there too when I hit the home run. Freaking chucked
Oh
it.
no.
Is this it?
Yeah, this
This
is
should
it.
be it. Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
All right. So, and
Wait,
then
did you guys see that?
What?
Oh, you didn't see it, Sam?
No, it froze on me.
Yeah, Brian, go back one.
all right.
That was to get 7 runs too. Nice.
That was get 7. Right there. Boom.
Oh,
Oh, even give the camera a look.
It surely was not.
Yeah, you weren't.
All right. And then Scott's grand slam toward the end of the game.
Oh, that'll be in the
Next
6th. Hold
is-
on. Before we do that, go to the 5th where we
Oh yeah, where we get 6
stop. Oh
away.
yeah. Where we
You sure it's not this far?
keep going.
Kevin's catch was the bottom of the fifth.
No, it's the bottom of
It was the
the 6th.
bottom of the 6th.
Go, keep going. Okay, this is where they could win it. So
Hold on, we gotta listen in.
yeah, keep going. Oh,
Yeah,
can we hear it?
Yeah, it should be able to.
So this is where Peter hits the bomb.
Yeah.
I don't think we can hear it.
No, we can't hear it.
That's all right.
Bottom of the 5th inning, we have
Oh,
a high score, 18-18.
oh, we gotta go back. Let's go back.
Why?
A little bit further.
Oh,
Oh, hear
here-
Sam say, score 6 and win.
Oh,
Right
that's
here, right here.
Go
Oh,
Cubs.
that's gonna be hard to find.
Wait, no, that was the inning, 2 innings before.
Yeah, what are we watching this for?
Well, Brian, if we want to go to that, then we have to go backwards. But if we're just gonna circumvent that, then you're gonna go to PG.
Circumvent, Brian.
PG's at bat. Go to PG's at bat. This one, yeah. This is where we would celebrate.
I mean, I remember I was jacked.
Dude.
We did the improbable. It was just great.
You're down 5-0 right now.
Yeah.
And I really did not want to walk him because Peter was up next.
No, we were lost.
Too fast.
What I do?
He's just walking like, don't.
Oh, you put your hands in front of you and you were flexing.
Hey man, I
Oh, man.
really wanted to win.
Just watch at least the top of the inning here.
Yeah, we can watch this. Yeah.
Yeah, 18 to 18.
This podcast is going to be like 4 hours long.
18
All
to
right,
18. Just comes up.
you guys earned it.
Oh,
Don't.
Brian, if you tap forward on your keyboard, it jump 5 seconds.
Like the arrow key.
Yeah, your arrow keys.
Really?
There was a moment right before this where I'm pretty sure I was like, Gus, season 5, let's go.
Yeah, it's not about the Yankees. It's about season 5.
I think Sam walked me.
Just a little bond.
Yeah, Sam.
Oh, I hit a ground ball down the line, maybe. Can't remember.
Yeah, keep doing that. Nice. I think, did you walk us?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, do you hit a 2-run homer?
No, I hit a little dinky single here.
Yeah. This is the. No.
Right there.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
So dinky. Oh,
Sam hits a home run here, right?
now he walks.
Oh yeah, and then I got out.
Nope, you get a single
Oh,
here.
that's right. I got a single.
Mhm.
So we get 1 run from the single and then.
And then Gus, that's where you hit me in the
Oh,
freaking
that's
chest.
Oh, I
right.
smoked
Third
it.
base.
I smoked it. And which that was crazy. Peter probably could have gotten a double play there if he would have not ran to the middle.
To the
That
mound.
was a moment I was like, oh crap. But yeah, he ran to the middle.
If
I was
that-
halfway to second.
If that's how that inning would have ended, I don't think we win the championship. There's just no way.
Just 1 run. Yeah.
Just one
No, 'cause
run.
The Peter leads off the next inning.
Mhm.
Let's go, Kev. Dude, what were you feeling right here, Kev? Were you a little bit?
Did you say
Dude.
I'm gonna swing at the first pitch no matter what?
No, I said I'm swinging as hard as I can. No regrets.
I mean, we had all the momentum right here. I mean,
I don't want to.
Yeah, I hit this ball really well.
mhm.
Scott's lazy ass didn't get out of the way.
I was just standing on third base. I was just really glad that, like, in these moments, sometimes when arguments happen, it's because
There
everyone's
wasn't an argument though.
well, that's what I'm saying is sometimes it happens because people just don't know the rules. But like Sam was right there and was like, okay, what happened? What happened? Okay, I saw it. This, that. And it was like, okay, nice.
Big freaking moment. This is the moment. I was like, we got this. After this bomb.
This is just like burned in my memory.
That was pretty
That
good.
was something that was hard in the bottom half of the in the
I was like so jacked up. I think I popped out after the first pitch right here.
Sam wanted to hit a home run. That was the thing that was like crazy that seeing Edload just reminded me of.
Oh,
that
I
you
went
spoke
too
way
fast.
far. Way
That
too
was the end.
Yeah.
Go to
sweet.
Brett. Go to Brett. You want to go to Brett because you're gonna see Kevin's catch.
Yeah,
Kevin's catch was in the bottom of the last inning.
Yeah.
we didn't have any
There's
outs.
No
Run-
outs
Oh
right
my
here.
God.
All right,
run
you ready?
first.
They're down 4. At this point, I'm going off, Rick.
Oh my God.
Watch when PG walks in. He's like, "Oh, that's a home run."
Dude.
Oh my God. What a legendary.
I didn't
catch.
even turn around until the last second because I was like, oh shit, that's a home run. Dang it.
What a catch. Yes, Scott, you were like completely checked out of that play.
I just happened to look and I saw Kevin flying like Superman over the fence. And I was like, no way.
Unreal. That was
It
awesome.
All season, I had been wanting to jump over the
That
fence.
one-handed?
No.
No.
I caught it like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
and it just like went into my chest and then I rolled. on my
Dang.
back. Yeah. And what's good about it was like John Light is standing right there in left field. And so like, you know, it was clean catch, you know.
Yeah.
He was right there, team captain standing right there watching the whole thing. So
I do remember like one of the things that Edlo's seen Edlo there, I think we all talked about was like in the bottom half of the 5th inning, seeing all those like the champagne was out, the trophy, someone was holding the trophy,
Yep.
and Edlo was trying to get the picture, and it was like, oh, this sucks. Like that, I remember that feeling. And anyway, it just jogged my memory seeing Edlo.
Yeah. Well, here was the moment that you won it all.
Come on, Pete.
Sam.
Sam hobbling out there.
Dude, by that point, my body was barely functioning.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Yankees season 20 champions. Give a round of applause.
I know I've said this to the Yankees, but I think that was the greatest sports game comeback that I've ever been a part of. It's great.
It was a heck of a game.
yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been painful to lose. So that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember for a long time afterwards being like, I still can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I bet you were,
Worst.
I mean, you were already tired going into the game, but I mean, emotionally, physically, mentally wrecked by the end of it.
I think it's a lot easier for us if we would have lost that game than for the Orioles losing that game.
Mhm.
And
Why so? How come?
I mean, just put yourself in their shoes and the chances they had and being up by so much. I think us losing would not be as great as of a sting as it is for them and their loss.
Mhm.
Yeah, the stings
Yeah,
would have been.
that's stung for them for sure.
I cannot imagine
Yeah.
being
Well,
in
they
that.
were billed as this like super team kind of going into the year, you know, you get
yeah.
all these all-stars and Hall of Famers on one squad too, just an added thing. I don't know if that really would have played too much into it, but big picture wise, like,
I'm just talking about the game itself
yeah,
and the moments they had to win
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that they did win. But it just wasn't a home run. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
it was impressive, and congratulations again. Let's wrap this thing up. We're gonna do a segment of the unknown. So everybody's gonna answer these questions. Some of them are easy, some of them are just for fun. But what have you guys been up to over the summer? Give a little peek inside the personal lives of the Yankees here.
I visited Gus.
I moved into a new house.
The Yankees have visited each other.
Kevin came out.
Yeah, came out to LA.
You came out twice, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a wedding and then was out there recently. So
I
Yeah.
went to Spain for a wedding, which was
Nice.
cool.
Awesome. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, cookies and cream. It's got to be done right, but it's so good.
Oreo,
Oreo.
slash cookies and cream.
I mean, it's hard to beat cookies and cream. For a long part of my life, I was team Reese's.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I'll tell you what, Sonic still has a good one. But cookies and cream, man, it's pretty dang good.
Yeah. What is the hardest thing about winning in the SWBL?
Winning?
Like
Yeah,
just
about
a
winning.
game or the championship.
Either, whatever you think, however you want to answer it.
Hardest part.
I'll
The
just say
hardest thing?
I'll just say keeping your focus. Like
Yeah.
keeping focus all year for those long dog days. Everyone's got a day where they got to play 4 games or 5 games, and like by the time you get to, well, if you're playing that many, you're starting early. So you got to start early. You got to be ready to go early. And then if you're 4 games in and you're tired, maybe you're already hungover, but it's just tough. Like it's just tough. Those days are long and they're hot. And you get stiff quicker and quicker. The old guys, we're all old, but the older guys know.
Yep.
Hardest thing about winning is that anybody can win.
Yeah.
And because I mean, this is a medium pitch league. I mean, pitchers can't really do much. I mean, anybody can hit anything.
Yeah.
So
The
anybody
key
can
is
win.
that, like, the only way to win is if you have your whole lineup. Like, if you have 1 or 2 guys
Wow.
slumping, then you're done, because that's the key. The key is to not make outs. That's the key of the whole league. And if you have one guy that's making outs, then you're at a huge disadvantage. So you just got to have everyone work. You got to have everyone hitting. And that's the hardest part.
Yep. All right. We talked about numbers, specifically the number 18, but I want to know why everyone is the number that you are. 7, 21. Yeah. 7, 21, 18, and 15.
Sam, you go first.
I don't know. I was 15 in high school for some reason. Sorry that was not a good answer, but like my best season ever. All right, I actually maybe have a good answer. My best pitching season ever in high school was like one Legion season where I just had a great season. And then ever since then, I always picked 15 in baseball. So wiffle ball, I picked 15 because of that.
Nice.
When the Yankees first made their jerseys, I Googled Hall of Fame Yankee members and saw like just what their numbers were. And Mickey Mantle was number 7. And I think I remember him just being kind of like all around, just like a good contributor. And I was like, hey, if I can do that, that's it.
Fun fact, by the way, about Mickey Mantle, he was originally number 6 because they wanted him to be the next Joe DiMaggio.
And Joe was 6.
Joe was 5, and that was kind of retired. So they were like, "You're the next one, so you're number 6." And then he like blew his knee out by running through, like he landed on a sprinkler head or a drain or something. He blew his knee out, even though he still played great. He always dealt with knee pain. And after when he blew that knee out, he's like, screw this. And he went to 7.
Wow. Maybe that's why I'm always hurt. I need to change my number.
Nah.
No, you're 7.
Yeah, I know, but he was 7.
Yeah, but he got hurt at 6.
That's true.
Mm.
I'm 21 because that's what I was at Clemson. So I remember even when we were freshmen, you got like the only numbers were available were the guys who had left, I guess, the year before, or coaches who had changed. And so there was like a list you could choose from. And so all the freshmen like ranked theirs. And so 21 was like my first choice. And I got it. So I like the number. It's like, I mean, I was 21 for 5 years. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sort of start identifying yourself with like numbers. If if there's a reason behind why, it sort of becomes part of who you are, which is why I asked the question. So
Yeah, I think
What's Josh, why are you 18?
18 has just been my number for everything growing up. It's always been my favorite number. When I do things, I'm like superstitious. When I do things, I count down from 18 to do them.
Really? I didn't know that.
Like, for example, like when I jump in the pool, I really hate like, like the shock of being cold. I'll always count down from 18 to jump in. Something
start all
silly.
the way up there instead of like even 10.
It's just the way it is. I 18, yeah.
18. All right. Everybody on this team travels a decent amount. So where's your favorite place to travel, or where's your favorite place that you have traveled to?
I mean, I'll go first. I friggin' anytime I travel, I want to go out. Where do I want to go, Sam?
He wants to
Beach,
come to
baby.
Old Slam. And he wants to stay with Rudy in the bed.
Yeah.
That's my dog, fans, not the wife.
Yeah, I always love going out to LA. So that's where I love traveling to.
This is gonna sound like a cop out, but it's true. I like going where like friends are and like visiting them and seeing their worlds. But I also love adventures and excursions and doing things like really unique places. So I just like unique experiences, but I like doing it with a friend or two. So
I like traveling to St. Louis.
I like to go to St. Louis. I like to go to the Rockies. Not the SWBL Rockies. Rocky Mountains.
rise up.
Right. You know I love the Rockies, the SWBL Rockies. I'm talking about skiing. I
You
don't know.
love to ski.
Well, that's going to wrap up this Champions podcast. I want to thank all the guys for jumping on and looking back and having some fun, reminiscing about certain moments and certain funny tidbits that maybe nobody else was really privy to, and letting us kind of peek inside and peek behind the curtain. Want to thank our sponsor, 1356 Public House. If you're a business owner or somebody out there that is looking to sponsor for season 21, you can email the league at skibbywiffleball@gmail.com and get some information about that from the front office. But that is going to be it. We're going to continue bringing more podcasts out throughout the rest of the year as we lead into season 21. We'll have a Ask the Commish podcast coming up soon. We're going to do an NWLA review.
Commish.
Yeah. A summer league review. Yeah. Maybe next time we get the Yankees on, we'll get another bottle of tequila and just let them drink that. So
I think it's a new tradition.
Yeah, it should be.
please don't yell my name again next year then.
Benware.
Oh,
You can't run around the corner.
I
with
did.
Benware.
You know what's funny about that is everyone was kind of sitting there being like, I hope they call
Everyone was
my
like
name.
this. They're back.
They're like, I don't want to like act like I'm interested, but and then we started calling their name and they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the funny part.
Yeah.
Or funny part.
Yeah.
That was
So
great.
maybe we'll get a tequila sponsor for next year. So
We should.
yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
thank you
Love
guys
to-
again. Have a great night. Can't wait
Thanks,
to see you
Brian.
guys in person again.
Brian, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great night.